Hello everyone, now that I've set up multiple pipelines for getting multiple resources, it is time to continue the main quest line again, which is establishing research bases in the hottest planet, and after this, we're gonna have to do it in the coldest. And with planet, of course, I mean island or region in this case. However, there's one thing we miss in order to do this, and that is steel alloy, which can be crafted in the alloy forge after you unlock it in the material analyzer. And we need graphene, or coal, specifically. But graphene's probably going to be easier because we can automate this. And after all this time, I still don't know how to automate coal, and I don't think you can. So in order to find graphene, you either have to be kind of lucky, or we make a rock deposit scanner. So we need a controller, antenna, and microscope. Alright, there we go. Now we can make the rock deposit scanner. I've never used this thing. I got added in, well, I'm not sure when, I think the last update. So how does this work? Use it. It scanned basalt. Yeah, it's not really what we need though. And I think that's because graphene actually spawns in a very specific location. I think it was in a cold region, was it not? It doesn't specifically say. Well, ain't that fun? I can sadly not use it while in flight. This is all basalt as well. With the amount that we get, I imagine those are pretty normal around here. I'm gonna make my way to the cold region there. Yes, there we go. That's all graphene right here. Now we also specifically need iron to go next to it. Let's see, is there any graphene around here? Yeah, but very far away. I don't think we can actually get to the graphene rocks. That is kind of unfortunate. But hey, it's fine. We can set up the base things. So ultimately, it has to go all through here. And this has to be made into steel alloy. We also require a bit of water. Probably 2 to properly get this thing going. Let's make a little wind farm out in the water. The coast is probably not where you want to place those, but hey. It's my utopia, so I do whatever the heck I want. Let's see, what does it specifically need? Just iron ingots? That's pretty damn cheap. Why can I not place this on here? Must be placed on large rock deposit. Yeah, that's this game. I do not understand why it's not working. Do we have to do this manually? That would suck. Yeah, I guess we have to. Alright, run back, quick. It is a little chilly out here. With the heat wave we've been having, I wish it was kinda chilly out in real life as well. But alright, iron ingots are being produced. And we need to head over to that graphene rock. So we can actually place this one down. We can, nice. And we bring this all the way over there. I think there was something else we could do with graphene too. Was it in the refiner? I'm just quickly gonna check. It was not in the refiner. It was in the carbon refiner. It was all graphene, right? Yes. This is something we have to set up as well. And well, we may as well do that here, I suppose. Let's see, let's make a tier 2 warehouse for this one item, just so we increase our inventory capacity. And I think we can add multiple drills to this rock. You cannot do this with ore. But yeah, you can do it with these. So let's see, we need 4 of those, because there were 4 items. Now they do all require water as well. I think quite a bit at that. This is gonna look very messy very quickly. Well, and besides that one, it kind of looks like the rest could technically go through there. This one makes a weird bend, man. And then start connecting. Actually, before that, let's set all the recipes. It is kind of weird, but also very satisfying. I find that the graphene is really the easiest mid-game item to obtain, or to automate, rather. Alright, this will look very messy. But hey, everything is connected up now. And this will allow us to actually start using tier 2 conveyors soon, as that require carbon filter. Technically, we could skip ahead to the osmium as well, but that's just a little more work to set up. Let's see, how is power doing over here? 15%, so we definitely need some more wind turbines. Yep, we're at 100% power. And look at how much that costs. That is insane. Alright, that was step 1 of our plan. We need a bunch of data centers. Those require a ton of computers. Now we have to wait for some steel alloy to come in anyway. So let's see, we needed 5 of these data centers. And each one costs 4, so we need 20 of them, but we need it times 2. We need 40 computers. So I'll see you in a bit. In other news though, we're now up to 80 steel alloys, so that's fantastic. Right, we have to go to the hottest place first. That is faster by using this old thing, as it is a little southeast of our island. And well, there was this place right here. I think it had copper and quartz. Yeah, we can set up some stuff around here. And with some stuff, I mean the computers. We also need a second compartment. That way we can fit all the data centers. There we go. We also unlocked better water pumps and better water purifiers, which are going to be crucial on this planet. But we are not auto-crafting all these items yet, which is something we should probably work on next. But before we do that, what did it all cost to make that computer again? So we need 2 times copper, and we need silica. Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard to produce. I would need an extra base, because we would need to run down. Let's actually use our spaceship for that, because I don't want to get too close. Alright, so this needs to split off into 2. Well, first it has to go through a forge. Then it can go split off. One will go to a part producer. Well, actually, I think both of them have to go to a part producer. Because we needed plates as well as wire. Then I imagine we're probably not going to make it to the quartz. Nope. It would make it so much easier if we could use the drone from in our spaceship. And I don't think this is close enough either. It might be. Yeah, well, we have this problem again. Fantastic. Alright, there we go. We place that. Quickly go back down here. That will eventually have to go through one of these, because we need silica. Then we need 2 assemblers. One will have to make the circuit boards, and then one will make the actual computer. This will now be creating our good old computers. Well, actually, never mind. It won't do that. We'll have to manually fix this, don't we? I thought it was connected, but it was not. We could have also used the tier 2, potentially. Yeah, we might actually want to do that. Just because this is going to be so slow otherwise. And there it is. Beautiful quartz. That goes into the forge. Immediately gets smelted into silica. Nice. You know what? I wanted to leave here a second ago. Good thing I didn't and tried to replace that line, because I forgot that I still have the warehouse to place down. That could have been bad. Very bad. I think we're at the max of our inventory capacity as well with the warehouse tier 2s. But I don't think we need to make those anymore. It seems to go at pretty decent speed. It's gonna slow the hell down though, because I guess it's the warehouse that takes up a lot of power here. How fast is this loading in? Pretty darn quickly. It seems to be able to keep up, so that's good. It's throwing it in as fast as it can produce it. Actually, I think it's a little faster even. Alright, let's go back to the base, see what our next objective is. I think it is placing down a research center in the coldest area of the game, which is fine. We can easily teleport to that. Yeah, establish a research base in the coldest region of the planet. That is down below here. And that also unlocks a climate regulator. So let's see, instead of flying all the way over there, there is this teleporter. And that will lead us straight to spawn. Whoop, 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 whip, whoop. Place this one down. Make a couple of data centers. There we go. So I guess on that note, we may as well head back. There's nothing ready to do for us here. But that was a really quick one. So let's see. Again, I think we have to build a regular climate, right? Or climate regulator. Yes. Specifically in the hot zone. Actually, that's good, because that's where I wanted it anyway. But that is going to be expensive, isn't it? Yeah, thermal regulators and sensor arrays. We are not producing any of that. Mainly that's because we're not finding a lot of gold on this planet, which is kind of crazy. Even in some of these other zones, there just isn't any gold. All I can think of maybe in this area, because that doesn't seem to be marked properly. But yeah, even with that, we would need gold, copper, and iron right next to each other. Well, unless we want to build trains and stuff like that. And seeing as those have been added after the last planet, I feel like maybe that is more of a requirement here. Alright, let's take a look. Well, nope, there's no gold around here. Alright, let's head over to the next island. And look at that. Gold iron as well as copper. We do need to set up quite a bit here, though. Oh, it looks like people were already setting up here in the first place. They wanted the gold. That's actually probably the ruby, if I were to guess. Seeing as that is right here. Well, let's see what they want. We made it. After 7 years in transit, we've set foot on Nova Terra. The sky is purple. Lighter than expected. Almost serene. Though the air is thin and dry. Not quite the second Earth we hoped for. But the terrain is stable, and the preliminary scans show rich mineral veins and deep aquifers. I'm not 100% sure what that means, because I don't know the word. That is the problem here. It's going to be a fight, but the world has potential. We start terraformation protocols tomorrow. Okay, so wait, is this their landing site then? They chose a hell of a place to land, that's for sure. And they have a couple base resources here. And then this is probably where the ruby goes. Yeah, that's where ruby is. I think we needed a tier 2 drill for this, right? Yes. Alright, so that's something we have to work on later. Alright, well, it's nighttime, which is actually pretty good. Let's set up a warehouse. Let's start using tier 2 by default now. Tier 2 conveyors. Let's see, both of these have to go into a assembly machine. And these will create the N10. Actually, no, this one still has to go for a part producer first. Actually, both of them have to. Alright, now that they have gone through there, they can go for an assembly, make antenna. I want to split this, because we do require antenna every once in a while. We would need another assembly. This one creates the sensor arrays, specifically. Then we need to go to the gold area. I think we may as well set up rubber first, because that's going to take a little while to set up. Mainly for the water to purify. And then I forgot if it was rubber or rubber belts that we needed for the gold wiring. Let's have a little look-sees. It's just rubber. Okay, well that's good. Alright, then we have to kind of dash for this next part. Because we're running out of oxygen. But those two can connect up. Actually, I'll just use the oxygen capsules. It's why I have them anyway. And then this can be connected over there. Alright, now that we have sensor arrays going, now let's do a little exploring. So what's going on with this area here, though? Like, it looks completely different. Oh, it's extreme heat. Okay. I suppose that makes more sense. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Alright, we have to dash back, though. We only have 35 seconds left of this battery. I could be making more, and I probably should. I just find it kind of a waste, because we're soon going to get the bigger batteries, and those will last forever. But this is going to become a problem. Oh wow, we just stop, eh? That's not good. No, please. Bloop. This is toxicated water too. It's worse than normal water. Yeah, we're gonna die here. Slowly. It's crazy how underwater the battery doesn't recharge. Oh no, it's even worse. We spawned back here. Why? Why, game? Why would you spawn us back here? Ugh. Should have made that extra battery. Takes refined cobalt. That is definitely not good. Is there a way for us to respawn, but not back here? Love how there is a respawn button, but it doesn't do anything. It just spawns us back to this house. This might be why. Can I dismantle this? I cannot. Yeah, this might become a problem. I mean, there is cobalt on this island. So I think technically we would be able to get... Actually, no, because we would need to make this cargo plane, which takes stuff we don't have, do we? Fast rotors? Why do we even make those over here? Well, we can produce those. It's gonna be a big pain to create all this stuff, let me tell you that much. A pain that I don't have time for today. And I think could be a fun little survival challenge, I suppose, in and of its own. That is, of course, if the ship platform doesn't just respawn the ship. Let me actually try that first before I start promising an epic crawl back to technology video, and then all we have to do is press one button. Okay, well, all we have to do is press one button, and this recharges our battery too. Alright, well, no need to do any of that, I suppose. But imagine, though, thermal regulators is another thing, which we could technically do here, I guess, as well. And I think we kinda... Well, we could do it here, too, on the hotter zone. Because the quartz is closer by. Which I'll probably do this here. But hey, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.